Hi, this is Marsha.
And this is Kelly.
We are the 2U's of 2U's Fiber Adventures. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll hear about knitting, spinning, dyeing, crocheting, and just about anything else we can think of as a way to play with string.
We blog and post show notes at 2usfiberadventures.com.
And we invite you to join our 2U's Fiber Adventures group on Ravelry. I'm 100 Projects.
And I am Better in Motion.
We're both on Instagram and Ravelry, and we look forward to meeting you there.
Enjoy the episode. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Marsha.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We have, I'm starting school this week. I had a school day, probably half a day yesterday with all the stuff I needed to get done. I had to go in for a presentation for the new faculty, and then I stayed and got work done, and then I came home and got more work done around our barn hunt class. And then today I'm going to a lunch for the new faculty, and then I'm going to work on my class. So I don't start actually, students aren't back at school until Monday. This is Wednesday, the 20th of August, and tomorrow I have a full day. Friday I have a full day official work days for faculty. So, but yeah, and of course, guess what the temperature was yesterday?
Oh, probably 80.
Close. Yes. It was like 77 degrees here in Salinas yesterday. 80 degrees in Prunedale where we had our barn hunt class. Yes.
Yeah.
So, true to form, the summer is starting just as I'm going back to school. That's all right.
Well, it always happens. I know, as a kid, I always remember sort of the same thing where right before school got out in June, you'd have beautiful weather. And the day school got out, it rained. You had kind of bad weather until after, the joke always in Seattle, the 5th of July is when the nice weather started. And the 4th of July typically rained, but 5th of July it would be nice. And then you started getting bad weather kind of again, sort of the end of August, right before school started. Or actually we started, I think, September. Yeah. But then when school started and you go in your all your brand new school clothes,
fall,
your wool skirt and your wool sweater, it would be 80.
Right.
The day school started.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, longtime listeners will know that our best weather is September, October, and the middle of February. A small window in the middle of February is probably the best time to visit the Monterey Bay area. That would be my suggestion. If you want something other than white sky. Actually, we've had not just white sky, but like full on gray, dark days this summer. And then the last couple of weeks, I don't know if it has to do with hurricane season or what, but the humidity here has been, for us, like off the charts. I woke up, was it yesterday morning? Of course, it was early morning, and it's always more damp in the early morning, but the humidity, it wasn't drizzling or anything, but the humidity was 92%.
Wow.
Like, that's weird. I don't know, because I've never looked at the humidity on my phone at that time of day. But it was just like, oh my gosh, it's so wet. Like everything just, the air felt wet. I was sweaty. It wasn't hot, but I just felt sweaty and I was like, okay, I have got to look at this. What is the humidity right now? It's terrible. And that's when I saw like 92% humidity. Like, okay, that's like when I was in Washington, D.C., except there it was also hot. Here it wasn't really, still early morning. So probably temperatures in the 50s, I would say, high 50s, low 60s, probably or somewhere around there, Anyway, yeah, weather.
I know. We're never happy with it, right?
No, that's right. So anyway, yeah, I'm back to school. So how about you?
Okay.
What's up with you?
Well, I'm not. I'm not back to school, but I've just been working working on stuff around the house. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I have in my bedroom, there's a window in the closet that has never shut. And then I have a dormer on the other side of the room, and that window has never shut. So I took the closet window out and I cleaned it, I sanded it all down, I repainted, and I also planed it down a little bit so that it now shuts. And then I took the one in the dormer out. I'm sitting here and it's missing. So I took it out, and that was quite scary taking them out because I did it by myself, but it's up on the second floor, and I really wasn't sure how heavy the windows were. They actually are not that heavy, but I have to, unscrew them with one hand, use the screwdriver with one hand, and not lose the screws, drop them down a story down, and then not drop the window. So anyway, I got they're both, so one is done, the closet window's done, and the one in the dormer now I just have to paint the outside of it because it's got a little bit of I've sanded it all down. I planed that one down too. I kind of held it up in the window to see. I think it's going to be okay.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm doing all of that. And then there's shutters too at the windows. So I took those down and disassembled all of them and washed them all. And then yesterday I took them down to there's a guy that my brother knows. He makes picture frames. Mm-hmm. He does framing, but I called him and he said he can paint the shutters for me because it's very difficult to paint shutters and do it by hand and do a nice job. So he'll spray them. So I'm sitting here. I have no coverings at my windows. So
but they're at the second
a lot of light coming in.
They're at the second. Well, that's what I noticed when you sent me the pictures. Like, wow, that's a lot of light coming in.
Yeah.
And they're up on the second story, and like the one side faces nothing really, right? I mean, because you're so much higher than the people across the street, or do you really need?
Well, yeah. So the dormer faces the front of the house, the street, and I'm so high up because it's up on the second floor, and then I'm up on that big rockery, so no one can see in that window.
Yeah,
and the closet window, nobody can. And I keep the
closet window is right. It's a window into the closet. Yeah.
It's into the closet, but I always keep the door open because I like the breeze coming through. But the big windows, like across from my bed, were those I can look right into the neighbor's bedroom.
Right.
So I just
So those shutters you took down too.
Yeah, all the big windows that face north and face the house, the neighbor's house, those came down, and then there were shutters in the dormer window, and I took those down.
Okay.
So it'll be fine. It won't be that long.
Because you almost don't even need them. I mean, you might want them because they match, but I mean, you almost don't even really need them in the dormer window.
No, that's true. I will say I do like them, in the morning because the sun comes in.
Yeah.
And
that's true. Yeah. So you don't wake up with the.
But you're right. I don't even
wake
really
up with the birds or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been working on that. I don't know. And then I've just been working on projects around the house. I won't even talk about it, but I'm still doing a little bit of purging, trying to get rid of things. And then I've been just doing fun things. I've been taking the dog for long walks, and I've been doing a lot of knitting and sitting on the deck and knitting and listening to audiobooks and I don't know, just dinking around.
Well, good.
Making bread. I made butter.
I saw that.
By the way, it's delicious. It's I won't go into the whole details, but it's French style butter, and I don't know this much about it. So people who listen to this who know more about butter can maybe correct me. But you actually, what's the term? It's cultured which
Okay.
cultured basically means it's fermented. So you take the cream and you add a little some yogurt to it, live culture yogurt to it, and you let it sit anywhere from 36 to 72 hours, depending on
Okay.
how warm it is, out, not in the refrigerator, but out. And then after that, then you go and you put it in the mixer and you just beat it, churn it,
So it's basically, because that's how you make yogurt, is put yogurt culture into milk and let it sit for about that length of time. So you're basically making yogurt with cream, yogurt with your cream, and then making butter out of that cream. That's interesting.
Churning it, yeah. And then after you do that, you put it in an ice water bath and you kind of knead it. And I made a double batch, so I had to sort of separate it in, but you put it in a bowl with ice water, knead it, and it's called washing it. And it's also because you're trying to get out all of the buttermilk out of it.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't realize that if you leave if there's any of the buttermilk left in it or the water in it, that actually makes it the butter go bad. So if you get all of it out or as much as possible, it doesn't go rancid as quickly.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm just gonna say I must eat a lot of butter. My family must eat a lot of butter because we leave our butter out all the time, and I've never had butter be around long enough to go bad.
Well, and this is not going to be around a lot because it's delicious. It's so good.
Right.
And then I put in, and then what you do, so you do that, and then you kind of, not roll it out, but you pat it out and you add salt and fold it and add salt and fold it. So you're not mixing the salt in like you would mix salt into like cookie dough or something. You're making kind of layers in there of the, like a flaky sea salt that has like the crystals in it. And so when you then spread it on your bread, you still kind of have those salt crystals in there. Like, so you eat it and you have a little bit of just every so often a little bit of salt, burst of salt, and a little crunch kind of. It's very good. It's not going to be around long to go rancid.
That part of it doesn't need to be done scrupulously.
Yeah, no. But I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. And I thought, that would be a really good gift to give people too. When you go to someone's house for dinner and you bring a bottle of wine, but not everybody drinks.
Right.
You bring a box of chocolates, but not everybody wants to eat chocolates, right? Because we're all, at this age, we're all trying to control our weight. And then flowers, I think flowers are a really nice, neutral thing to bring. But then sometimes I think it's, when there's a lot going on and you bring flowers, but then the hostess now has to get a vase out and do all this stuff, right? In fact, my friend Dave, he always just goes to the Goodwill and buys vases and brings a flower arrangement in the vase and then just leaves it.
So it's already done,
But then they have to deal with that. I thought this is perfect butter, because everybody uses butter. Well,
yeah, that's a good idea.
Within reason. So, just again, it's pretty easy to do.
Some more than others, apparently. Since mine never is in danger of going bad.
Yeah. I don't know. It was interesting. It was just sort of interesting. I was reading about it too. And I know with baking, especially with like, if you're making pastries, like, or croissants or something, you want a really low moisture butter.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how you measure that. I have no idea. This was just I just did it. So anyway, but I'm just working on projects. And I will just mention one thing too. I have here on my list, the weaving studio. I've done nothing down there at all, but when I went to the framer, I did bring 2 posters down one was given to me. My friend Gary gave me a poster from the advertising the Seattle World's Fair. So I'm having that framed, and then I bought on eBay a poster from Linda Berry. It was a local cartoonist here in Seattle. And she came out years ago with a book, and I got on eBay the poster that advertised the book, and it's Poodle with a Mohawk.
Oh, right. I remember that. Yes.
Anyway, I remember those promotional posters when I worked at at the bookstore, and I never got one. So I bought this thing, and it's interesting. I won't say what I paid for it. It wasn't that expensive, but kind of surprising when these were free promotional posters.
Right.
I paid some money for this. But anyway, I'm having that framed, and that's going to go down in my
that'll be nice.
in the studio. So I had to have that poster.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Yeah,
I
little
remember
did you
wanting it
know
years
back
ago,
in those
even when I
days.
didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, should we talk projects?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first? You have exciting news. I think you should go first, Kelly.
Okay, I will go first. I am right now, this very instant, about half an inch away from finishing the second sleeve on my sweater.
All right.
And then once I do that, it's very exciting. And then once I do that, I'm going to try it on. I'm down to the bottom of the sweater, and I just need to figure out, like, okay, how much do I make of the last band of stockinette and then the ribbing. I'm almost finished. In fact, I'm like, okay, what am I going to work on tomorrow at school? Because I think I might be done with this. Or like if I bring this to work on tomorrow, I'll probably finish it, right? Because all I have left is a few rows of stockinette and then ribbing. So I'm kind of like, oh no, do I need to pick up another project? But yeah, really exciting. I love this sweater. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Isn't it nice to just absolutely love your project that you're making?
Yes. I love this more than, well, the proof will be in the pudding about wearing it. But I love this more than I think any of the other handspun sweaters I've made.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I have, let me think about my handspun sweaters. I have camel hair and silk, 2-ply, 1-ply of each, featherweight sweater that I made years and years ago and put lace on I found a lace pattern and I added it to the bottom of the sweater and then also to the edge of the sleeve. So they're like more like bell. I mean, they're not wide bell sleeves, but they're more like bell sleeves with the lace on it. So I like that sweater a lot, but the featherweight has problems. I don't wear it very often. I have the Dark and Stormy that I love, but it's so faded now that it kind of doesn't look like something I should probably be wearing to work. I should probably move it out of my work wardrobe. Oh, I've got the Funky Grandpa, which I also love, but is so pilled at this point. I need to do something about depilling that sweater because I love that one too, and I wore the heck out of it, especially during the pandemic. Like I wore that thing almost every day. And then, and I have my rust sweater, the dark green forest pattern. And I wear that one. I wear that one a lot, but I like it, but I don't love it. I mean, it's a good piece for my wardrobe, but it's not like, oh, I love this sweater. So, of my handspun sweaters, I think this is my favorite. And then I've got Graffito, the 2 pullovers, Graffito and the Rachel pullover. And I really like both of those too. But I still think I love this one more. We'll see after I wear it what I think. If it gets the kind of wear but the colors are so cool. The variegation of the handspun. Like none of my other handspun was this kind of, handspun from a braid. It was all handspun from bats that I dyed and I carded and I washed and all that. Well, except for the featherweight with the camel and silk. But yeah, so anyway, I love it. It's the color combinations.
I'm looking back at your projects.
Oh, my little trip down project memory lane.
Yeah.
So I think
it looks great.
Thank you. I can say that the stripes, you know how you had mentioned, the variegated stripes actually give you a stripe in the middle, like you did it on purpose. And so the top one is mostly green with a blue stripe through the middle. The second stockinette section band has a like purples on each edge with brown in the middle. And then the third one doesn't really have a stripe in the middle.
Yeah.
And the fourth one kind of has a stripe in the middle. It's got blue-green on either edge and like a brownish, purplish stripe in the middle. So that kind of didn't continue to happen. It's still pretty. And then the two sleeves are very different because I'm pulling from, because I'm kind of doing them in parallel. I was kind of doing them in parallel. I'm pulling from the inside of a skein and the outside of of the same ball, which is fine. I have no problem with it. But one is kind of the darker blues and teals. And then the other one is more sort of the orange and gold and brown and purple. So, but yeah, I got to get me some more of that Eugene Textile Center merino silk. It's beautiful fiber.
Okay. Well, when I drive down next April, I can buy you some. I can stop in Eugene.
Yeah. Do they have it in the shop? I've only seen it, like I haven't ever seen it on their website because I've been periodically checking their website to see if they have it, especially like after a show. Actually, but I have not ever seen it in their online shop.
Let me just say I've stopped there now. When Kim and I went to the beach, and then I stopped there twice, I think. No, I stopped there once on the way back. I can't remember. And they have braids there, but it's not like they have a wall of braids. You know, they have as many braids in there as they would have maybe at the show.
Okay.
It's not a ton.
Okay.
But if I remember, next April.
Okay.
I could see what there is.
Yeah, if you stop in, that'd be great.
We've got some time to talk about
right. Right.
What you want.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm almost done, and very happy with it. And the Sincere Sheep linen silk that's in the Sincere Sheep linen silk that's in the lace is really that yarn is very, very dangerous. That lace slipped off my needle so many times. I had to backtrack so many times. It's so sort of loose and floppy. And so I'm glad to be done with the lace, but that's nice yarn too. I mean, it's just so nice, and I don't know. I love it all. So I'll just leave it at that. I love this sweater.
Okay. Okay.
And it's almost done. So, and then I'm continuing to work on the socks from that yarn you got me in Alaska. And I'm on the foot of the second sock. So maybe that will be the one that I take to work this week. Maybe tomorrow and Friday, and maybe get some stuff done. And then the rest of what I've been doing has been playing with fleece. I continuing the combing. I got to the point where the rest of the fleece is the part that I didn't rewash, and it's pretty sticky. So I'm going to rewash that before I go any further. That's the CVM that I'm combing with my wool combs that you have to clamp to the table. They're they could be a murder weapon in a cozy mystery. The death.
They
of a
look
spinner.
lethal.
They are pretty lethal, and I've poked myself many times. And then I have like strict rules for myself. Like I only stand at this place, and I never do this, and I don't reach over them, and I don't like when I'm done with it, I set it down. I'm like I have a lot of rules because with my tendency to not know where I am in space, I could really do some damage. So
yeah.
But it makes a really nice fiber, and I'm excited to try spinning with it and see. It's time consuming, And I'm not sure how well I've had them for. Well, I've been spinning. I was thinking about this the other day. When we first started the podcast, it's like, oh, I've been spinning for 20 years. And I've kind of been thinking about that. Like, oh yeah, I've been spinning for 20 years. Like that's the number in my head. Like we've been podcasting for almost 11 years. So that means I've been spinning for 30 years now. And I've used the combs. Wow. I seriously used the combs. Probably this time is the most sustained work that I've done on those combs, except for when I took them to a class at Lambtown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, combing is not my go-to fiber prep, but anyway, it's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to do something a little bit different. And then I've also been rewashing the merino fleece, doing a little more washing to the merino fleece. I've got another couple pounds rewashed, and I was super careful. And so I'm pretty sure that this one isn't going to have the same sort of matted, felted bits in it that the first pound did. So, and then that first batch, I've carded it all through once. I'm trying to get that box. I'm going to put that all in one project. That box is, that first batch is one batch that I'm going to spin separately. So I got that through the carder once, and then I started putting it through the carder a second time, and I remembered all the silk I bought when the Guild had the estate sale for Jerry. I bought a whole bunch of her silk. And so I went and got the silk, and I started carding the silk into the merino. So that box of that pound, which of course it's not really a pound anymore after picking and carding, but that batch of fleece is going to be merino silk. So more to come on that. I probably will spin it. Maybe I'll spin it this fall and winter. So.
Okay.
So those are really that's it on my projects.
Okay.
What about you? I am going to talk a little bit about something I was inspired to pick up again a little later, but what about you and your projects?
Well, I have a finished project. I finished my simple shawl, and that was a shawl that I made using my handspun. Remember the kind of the gray and cream and orange. And I'll tell you what I did. There was I think it was last Sunday. No, 2 Sundays ago. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I thought, I'm going to take a day of rest. And so besides doing the things that I had to do, like empty the dishwasher, take the dog for a walk, I spent the whole day knitting on that shawl.
Oh, nice.
And I watched 3 movies. And because, the beauty of the internet and the laptop, I just brought it outside. It was a nice day. And I just laid in the lounge and had the laptop propped up, and I watched dumb movies, rom-coms, comedies, and got everything done except the picot bind off. And then, because that takes a bit of time. And so then over the next 2 days, I finished the picot bind off.
Nice.
But it was a guilty pleasure just to take the entire day.
Yeah, no,
and,
that's really good.
Knit. So I really like it. It's, and I've washed and blocked it, and it's very kind of glossy, because we had a conversation about this because it's a long wool.
And
so
what wool is it again?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
BFL.
I don't remember.
Is that right?
Huh?
Is that right? BFL?
Yes, it's BFL. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I really like it, and I like the colors, and I like the texture, the feel of it. It's kind of springy too. So I like it. And socks, I'm sitting here now working on my socks. I'm on the second sock, halfway down the foot of my second sock.
Okay, so we're about the same place. You're a little further than me, but we're about the same place on our sock projects. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't remember now when I started these socks, but they really were set aside when I was working on the shawl. And the last episode we were talking about because the pattern called for 400 yards and I actually had about 550, I wanted to use as much of my hand spun as possible. And so we had that whole conversation about weighing the ball of yarn, and so I did all of that. And I think, I don't know what I did with my notes though. But when I got to the picot bind off, I think I had about 30 grams. So I had plenty to finish the picot bind off. And so I ended up with a ball 1.5 to 2 inches. So I think I did pretty good. I could have probably put in a couple more rows, but I just don't want to tempt fate.
Right.
So,
you've
had interesting about
you've had enough of those kinds of issues that you don't.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be.
And I
would
would say it's interesting about the it's interesting about the striping on the because we were talking about the sweater that you're making and how the striping worked on those color bands. This is interesting on the shawl. It's just garter stitch, and then you do a little sort of eyelet lace, on the just 2 rows. It's very simple, and then when you finish that, then you start the picot bind off. And after I did the eyelet lace, I had sort of a creamy the orange color went through the whole thing. And then when I did the picot bind off, it's all gray. It's really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of how the striping just ended perfectly. So it's good that I stopped when I stopped and didn't add more. Otherwise, that feature probably would not have happened. So it just happened by chance. I didn't plan it at all. So anyway.
Nice. I'm looking for your project because the link in the show notes goes to the pattern.
Oh, it does? Oh, I meant to link it to my...
but I found it. I managed to go while you were talking, and you had sent me a picture, and I had seen it before, but I wanted to just refresh on that. Yeah, the striping turned out really cool.
So I think the picture I've not taken a picture. I have a picture on there on Ravelry of it laid out on the bed after blocking. I need to take a real good picture to post, which I will do. And I'll put it in the show notes too. But anyway, I like it. It's an easy pattern too, easy to memorize. So, and
it came out really pretty.
I know. I like it. I feel... I don't think I feel about it the way you feel about your sweater, but I still like it.
Well, and it's been a long time since it's been a long time since you've made a shawl.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And I'm just going to say too about handspun is I'm not the best spinner in terms of consistency, but once you knit it up, you can't tell. Right. As I was knitting, I'm like, oh, there's some thick parts and some thin parts, and but once knitted up, you can't tell at all. It looks, I think it looks really nice. So,
everyone listening, knit with your handspun.
Yeah,
you must.
Yeah,
it's a rule. You must knit with your handspun. You can't be a fiber adventurer unless you knit with your handspun.
Exactly. Anyway.
And if you're not a spinner, knit with somebody else's handspun.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, I realize I don't have a spinning project going right now, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I just taking a little bit of a break from it. But anyway, my other project I've been working on pretty consistently is the deer scarf.
Oh, right.
The one for the lawn ornament. And I was going to say, I didn't write down how much I have here now. I have, I would say, somewhere between 24 inches. It could be 36 inches. I think it's 36 inches. Oh, actually, I've got a tape measure right here. I will tell you how long it is. So I work on it, a little bit here and there. It's kind of good knitting if you're just... I have 33 inches.
Okay.
So I don't know how. I'm just going to knit until I think it's sort of long enough to go around a deer. I did tell Ben that about when I was at...
around a deer?
Well, it has to go around his neck, right?
Yeah, I know. I just think that's funny.
Well, and I have to allow, because I thought it'd be kind of cute to put fringe on it too.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I have to keep telling myself, don't put too much into this because it's going to be out in the rain. It's going to be on a lawn ornament. So, anyway, so I'm working on that, and then I just wanted to touch base on rag rugs.
Oh, yes.
So actually, we texted each other about this last night, but yesterday I thought, I was busy working on that window and walk the dog, and I was doing stuff, and I thought, you need to go down there and finish warping that loom because you're recording tomorrow morning.
It's a great incentive, I have to say. Yes,
it's a great kick in the rear end to get me going. So anyway, I threaded the last thing I need to do is to thread the reed, which I did, and then tied it onto the front beam. And so I'm ready to start weaving. And I was planning last night, I was going to go down there and put in some waste yarn to start. And then I thought, I'm just going to go to bed. I was tired. So today, I think I'm going to go down there and see if I can start actually putting in the rags, the sheets that I've got cut. I've not sewn them together, and I think I might try the technique of making a slit at one end. I might try that. We'll see. And also, I don't even know if they need to be sewn together because I watched another video where they didn't actually sew the ends together. They just laid them on top of each other and they worked. So we'll see. I might try both ways because this is an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think that would be good. So I was just a little bit distracted, and I have to tell you why.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe this has happened before in a podcast. I don't remember if I talked about it, but I use my phone in Robert's truck, right, with the CarPlay, Apple CarPlay, and all of a sudden, I'm listening to you, and all of a sudden, I don't hear you anymore. And kind of like you did in the last episode where you couldn't hear me, and you're like, Kelly, and I had to take that out when I edited. Well, I'm like, Marsha, are you there? I can't hear you anymore. And then I look over and I see Robert's leaving. I think, oh, Robert's going. I wonder if he's going to the store. Thought flits through my head, moves on. And then all of a sudden I can't hear you again. And I'm looking on my phone and like, okay, my ear pods I can't get you back on my ear pods. Finally, you come back and I'm like, oh, we were on the speaker in Robert's car.
Oh, so Robert heard everything I was talking about.
For about probably 45 seconds to a minute. Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's funny. It's so funny.
We were broadcasting to Robert's car. It's like, oh my God.
So now do you know what I said?
Well, I missed about 40 seconds.
It doesn't matter.
I missed about 40 seconds of it, but I'll be able to hear it when I edit.
I know. No, that's funny. Because we didn't tell people, but the last episode you were talking about your fiber and you were gone for like a minute or 2 minutes. I could not get you. I thought, yeah, Robert. So that's why if in the last episode, if people think I was uninterested in your fiber, that's why I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, Marsha's like, okay, First I was saying, Kelly, are you there? And then I just started saying vague things. So I would sound so interested.
But what I think is so interesting about this is like I have the same thing. Most cars now have that Bluetooth, right, to connect your phone. But it's so the truck is so far away from where you're recording. It's just weird that it would connect.
Oh, it's terrible. In fact, I have to disconnect it, and I usually have it disconnected, but there's a podcast that he's been wanting to listen to when we drive places. So, or like if we're listening to the radio, there's a place where the radio reception goes out. And so I'll get the NPR station on my phone for him before it goes out so we can listen from my phone as opposed to listening from the radio, and he doesn't have to, miss what he's listening to. Anyway, this is like totally not connected to anything we've been talking about, but it just was funny that I suddenly, after he drove away and you came back onto my, into my ears. First, you were just on my phone you were just like, so I'll have to do some fixing up maybe of the podcast so that you don't hear Marsha from the phone. And you came back to my ears. And it wasn't until then that I realized, oh, that's what it was. Because he drove away, So, yes.
Well, I have to tell you, on my end, I knew something was going on because I couldn't hear you, but I could hear all this noise. Oh. And it probably was like Robert in the car.
Yes. I bet you were able to hear him. I have no idea how exactly that works, but yeah. Oh my gosh. So anyway.
Okay. Well, what was I saying?
Back to your rag rugs. You've started weaving.
Oh, the rag rug.
You haven't started weaving the rags yet.
No. But I'm all set to start today.
Nice.
That's, yeah. So
I'm excited. You'll have to text me pictures if you start work on it before the weekend. Text me pictures while I'm at work so I can so I can have something entertaining during the professional development days.
Let me think. So that's basically all I have. I still have on here the Spacetime 18, the sweater that I want to use with my handspun, but I have not started that. And I also, what I need to do is I purchased the pattern, but now I need to just sit down and actually look at it and think about my gauge and what I want to do. And I'm not 100% sure I want that stand-up collar, that sort of funnel collar.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. And it also, when I read the pattern, it said that that you should do if you're unsure, because you can do a ribbed collar or just a stockinette collar. And if you're unsure, you should do a sample first. And I'm unsure, but I don't want to do a sample. Right? Because I'm fundamentally lazy. I just how you just want to start knitting, which is how I get myself into trouble a lot of times. So I need to think, but I do want to start that sweater, but I need to control my impulses.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway. Okay.
Funny.
So that's it for me for projects. So.
Okay. Well, there's two things that I want to talk about just briefly. One is about the fleece judging that I went to. And it was last Saturday. No. Well, yeah, it was the 9th. Let's just say it was the 9th. And there were like 57 fleeces.
Wow.
Which is not as much as normal. Usually it's lower than last year. It's smaller than last year. But maybe bigger than the year before. I can't remember now. But anyway, it was fun to watch, and they had some really nice fleeces. And I'm going to tell people what I did. I took my notebook, and I'm sure that I looked like I was super interested in all of them, and I'm going to be like the competition in the auction because I was madly taking notes. I mean, I was knitting at the same time, but I would stop and I would take notes, and I wrote down about every fleece. I have notes about every fleece almost. And the reason that
are you going to read those to us now?
Yeah, I'm going to read them now. I'm going to go through every page and every word. No, the reason I took all the notes is because when I go to the auction, I'm going to bring this notebook. Last year, I think I didn't bring my notebook. Maybe I didn't have notes last year. Anyway, I'm going to bring my notebook, and I took notes on all the things that were wrong with the fleece. Mostly. I mean, I have a lot of have good comments too, but I took note of all the places where she talked about things that were negative. The judge was Sheila January, and she's a breeder of Finns and Wensleydales. And she has a lot of knowledge, and she talked a lot about the fleeces, and she talked about the good and bad. I made sure I wrote down all the bad, because when I'm at the auction and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, the auction's almost over. I haven't gotten anything. I need to bid on this one. I can actually look and see why I shouldn't bid on it. And then I can also, when a fleece is going no sale, I can look it up and I can remind myself, no, this is not the one you want because she said XYZ about it. Even though chances are I will look at my notes and see the good thing and say, oh my God, this is the fleece I need. I have to save this fleece from not being sold. So, but I'm going to try to use my notes as a curb your enthusiasm tool. Impulse control.
I said about myself.
Yes.
I said about myself, like, my
control
impulses
your
or
impulses. Yes. This is my impulse control right here. I'm going to control my impulses with these notes. But beautiful fleeces. The Grand Champion fleece and the Champion Breed fleece is a Rambouillet. It's a Rambouillet fleece, and it's really pretty. I mean, it's really pretty, but I do not want to process another really fine fleece anymore. And then there's a really nice Romney, which of course I love Romneys. But this was the other thing. A lot of the fleeces I wrote in my notes, I have this fleece already. Because that's the other thing I do. It's like, I continually purchase the same fleece. But we were talking about BFL. There were a couple of BFLs this year, which is surprising. There was a BFL lamb fleece, and then there was a adult BFL fleece in the breed part of the show, which we don't have them, very many of them in our area. And so that was kind of nice to see. It's always nice to see fleeces that you haven't seen before. So they have, I'll just kind of run down. They have a breed category where you can enter your sheep by the breed. And then they have the market category, which has to be a white ewe fleece. And they're all by category of fineness. And so I do a pretty good job of ignoring all of those because they're white. There was a 10-pound white merino that was the Champion market fleece. Again, I don't want another merino. Too much processing for me. And then they have natural colored wool that is like all the different colors, brown, gray, whatever. And then they have a category called variegated wool. So they go through all the same categories of fineness in the natural wool and the variegated wool that they go through in the market fleece. So that was interesting. I mean, they had some really nice grays and browns and spotted sheep. And the Champion natural color fleece was a Wensleydale. Really pretty Wensleydale fleece. It was kind of a like 7.5-inch staple length. Very nice. That'd be fun to spin, but not fun to process unless you like combing. So anyway, this is the kind of stuff I wrote in my notes to remind myself, right? There's little reminders. Needs to be combed. Can't send it away to the processor, which I don't do that very much anyway. But there's just a lot of those little notes in my notebook. So stay tuned. I make no promises about what I will or will not buy, but I have a little bit of self-defense. So
Yeah.
and that's coming up.
I think that's a really smart idea because I completely understand the feelings you have at the auction. Like, oh, no one's bidding on it. I feel bad for it. So you buy it. And it's amazing how much just yarn I have in my stash because I felt bad. I wanted to support the vendor.
Right.
Didn't need it, and so same thing with fleeces,
Yeah.
And remember early on that feeling of, it's the last fleece on the planet Earth, Like, I have to get it because I might never get another fleece again. Boy, that's not true.
Yes. And that was what was kind of fun. Last episode, I talked about the YouTube videos that I was watching of the people who were doing Tour de Fleece. And they were almost all of them were at the phase of their spinning and, processing and stuff at that phase of, oh my gosh, yes, of course, I want this free fleece. And, I can't possibly pass this up. And, they're all kind of at that phase, at least some of the videos that I watched, because, some of them, once I watched this year, I went back, to their Tour de Fleece videos from prior years. And it's so fun to watch that, like, passion and enthusiasm and wool haze that comes over you when you see fleece, just like that greed, that fleece greed that comes over you, where you go back to your skirting pile and grab stuff out and think, okay, no, this can go back in. I could actually use this. It won't be bad, It's just that feeling of first love, that is just really, really fun. So,
yeah.
And then speaking of that, watching that sort of inspiring, first love feeling of excitement inspired me to do some natural dyeing. And now you know how I feel about natural dyeing. I mean,
yeah.
I shouldn't say it that way because it's not like I have, strong, like, negative opinions about natural dyeing, but I've done it. And I went through a phase. I went through a phase where I dyed with every piece of yard waste that I had.
I'm sorry. No, that cracks me up.
We used to say when I did the Master Gardener class and people would bring cuttings to class, it's like, okay, one person's yard waste is another person's, like, cutting treasure. And people would go home with, like, I would come home with all these cuttings of things, and Robert would be, oh, did you bring home some more invasive plants? Because, of course, the reason people have all these cuttings or extras, babies of these plants is because they're pretty prolific. And so, I mean, it was the same thing, right? And the frenzy that happened when somebody brought in seeds. Oh my gosh. It was just like it was a frenzy for cuttings too. But I had to laugh because really, when you looked at the table, it was just a table full of yard waste. and so I've dyed with a lot of stuff. And, I know that true natural dyers, they try, or really experienced and dedicated natural dyers, they use all these different mordants. And I'm really not interested in using, like, dangerous mordants. Like, when I first started spinning, I had a friend and she gave me a little jar of chrome and something at, like, tin. And I mean, those things are dangerous. I didn't realize it at the time, but you shouldn't be keeping that stuff in a little baby food jar in your closet. And so, and I'm not really interested in doing that kind of natural dyeing. But, there's a lot of plants who have their own natural tannins in them that, mordant the fiber, or you can use alum, which is what I did. And there's some other things you can do. You can make iron water, and you can make a copper solution that are, less dangerous. But I wasn't doing that. I just used alum, and I know what I'm going to get, right? I'm going to get somewhere in the range of yellows, browns, yellows, beiges, oranges, mostly not very vibrant, right? Yeah. I kind of knew that. But I got inspired because the colors all together look really pretty. Even though when you look at an individual like beige, or I'm not a big fan of yellow, when you put them all together, all the things that you've dyed with natural dyes, and you put them all together, they just really look pretty. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I have to do some yard work anyway. I have to create yard waste anyway. I'm going to be out in the backyard. I might as well put a pot on. And so I did. I did some work in the yard, and I thought, okay, I'm going to use these pelargonium leaves or geranium leaves. It's one of those like citronella geraniums, of the very heavy citrusy smell that I have near the patio in the backyard. And so I thought, I'm going to use this. So I took about 100 grams of leaves, and basically what I got was an orange leaning beige and I used some California red fleece that I had. And then I did a little bit on this border Leicester cross that I have. I have some leftovers. And that's a super white fleece. And that came out sort of barely beige, where the California red is a little bit creamy colored. And so I got kind of an orangey tips and orange leaning beige. So it's not, it's not earth shattering, but it was kind of fun. And now I have a little different color than just plain white, And then I had to prune. We have purple leaf plums in that same area. And so I was pruning them, getting some of the extra branches out and kind of opening it up a little bit. And I knew I would get like red dye bath, like a pinky purple, red, magenta kind of color dye bath, which I did, which is kind of exciting, right? Because you think that color is going to come out on your yarn. Right. But no, it doesn't. What I got there was just it's kind of even hard to tell the color. It's kind of a purplish, pinkish beige. It's kind of pink leaning or purple leaning, maybe gray, maybe grayish. It's very pale. The color that I got on.
Yeah, I'm looking at, because you sent me a picture of it. Yeah. It looks like so what color was the yarn or the fiber when you started?
So it was the Tunis, so kind of the same kind of creamy color as the California red. So it was kind of a yellowy, creamy color yarn was one of them. And then the other one was the white Shetland that I did with the swim bath.
Okay.
And they both came out about the same color. They're closer in color than the two that I dyed with the pelargonium leaves. But it's kind of hard to tell what the color is. It's definitely a color. It's not the same color as I started with. So I think that's one of those colors that will look really pretty with other things. It's not white, so it'll give an interest, but you kind of can't tell what color it is unless you put it with something else. Like the picture that I sent you, it's hanging against a pale blue shirt of Robert's that's in the garage, because I thought maybe that would bring out the color a little bit better than just hanging, outside in a tree. So anyway, it was fun. It, like I said, it wasn't like super exciting, like, wow, look what I got,
Right.
And so then you asked me about fig leaves, and it looks like you can get green from the fig leaves. I was actually hoping for green from the plum leaves, because I didn't find anywhere about purple leaf plum, but I did find somewhere where people had gotten green from plum leaves. But I didn't get anything close to green. But that's fine. And then, so I'm going to try the fig leaves and see what I'll get there. It looks like I should get something in the green tones. And then I'm going to try with my toy on, which should give me something kind of more toward brown, my toy on leaves.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try with the Ceanothus, the California lilac, which also should give me probably a kind of gold, yellow, maybe green leaning yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And then a long time ago, I gathered leaves when we went camping from a tan oak. And I'm pretty sure those will give me some kind of beige or brown. They're dried leaves. They've been in my garage forever. I'm just going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what about the artichokes? The leaves.
I don't have any right now. The artichokes are all dormant. So I don't have anything, but I don't know. You could
probably just be
them.
brown. Probably everything usually is brown,
or yellow. Yeah, beige or yellow are the two most common colors. I mean, you get different shades, right? Mm-hmm. Of beige and yellow. All the colors that I get. And I used a lot of dye stuff I used double the amount of dye stuff as I had yarn, which is kind of a lot. I mean, that's a lot of leaves when you're, 100 grams skein, 200 grams of leaves. That's a lot. You have to use a high concentration to get really vibrant colors, but there are some plants that give vibrant colors, but mostly you get muted colors. Even when they're really saturated, they're still fairly muted. And, that's not super exciting, but but you put them all together and they do really look good. I mean, that's why I got inspired watching, all the different colors. Like somebody would go in their stash and grab all the natural dyed colors that they had done over the past year and put together a project with them. It's like, oh, that's really pretty. So that's what kind of got me.
Well, and I like the fact that you're doing a lot of it. You're just using your yard waste.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do look it up. I do look up. I mean, you can look up dyeing with anything on the internet and find some information about it. So I kind of have an idea of what to expect. So it's not like I'm surprised, not like it's a surprise. Pretty much people have tried dyeing with everything. But it's fun. It's not, it's some incentive to be out doing yard work. I mean, I like doing yard work, but there's other projects I've got going on and these need to be done. And so I can put a little fiber into my yard work. I get more yard work done.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to talk about of my natural dyeing. Okay. Not the most exciting results, but again, just kind of keeps the yard work fun.
Yeah, no, it does. Sounds like it's fun. It's just fun experimenting with these things. So you're going to go to the wool show.
Yes.
Or the auction. We have that on our list of things. We have to mention that we're the final days of we're getting close to the end of the summer spin-in. It ends September 1st. So there's still time.
Yeah.
Get your things in there. And what else? You're going to Lambtown, or have you decided for sure you're going to Lambtown?
I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't decided for sure. Yeah. It kind of depends on the dog show results that we get in the beginning of September and whether I feel like I need to, keep that time out for potential insurance legs. I'm really hoping to finish her title in September, Bailey's title in September. So we'll see. Yeah. I'd like to finish it. We come back to obedience class in the middle of October. And so I'd really like to have that title finished by the time we go back to our obedience class. Yeah. So I'm still kind of undecided about Lambtown. That's long story short, not short.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what I was going to say, Lambtown, if you do go, it's October 4th through 5th in Dixon, California.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to the Two Knitlit Chicks podcast get-together in Lake Tahoe, September 18th through 21st. So I've got my flight. I got my car. I think I said this in the last episode, but I have a ride to and from the airport. And I now have dog care. That was the other thing. My dog sitter is not available. So that those dates. So I have neighbors who have offered to take him.
Nice.
They'll take him Thursday, Friday, and then Ben will take him Saturday, Sunday. So I feel relieved that I've got that set up.
Yeah.
And
Well, that should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As I say, I've never been to Lake Tahoe. It's, as I say, 18th through 21st of September. I'm assuming it'll still be warm. I'm going to bring my swimsuit. I'm assuming I can go in the lake. If I'm there, I have to go in the lake, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the weather will be like at that time of year, but you definitely have to go in the lake.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't go all that way and not go in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. That's what I say now. Just wait. Anyway, well, do we have anything else that we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I think that's it. I've got to get ready to go to the lunch. And you've got to get to weaving on your rugs.
I know. I have a few things I need to do, but I'm going to go down there and I think I'm going to be, I'm going to take the dog for a walk at noon, so I have about another hour, but I may go down there and at least get the waist yarn in and start.
Yeah. Very cool. This is exciting, Marsha.
And look at my notes because I can't remember exactly, excuse me, how much I allowed for the hem.
Mm.
I was thinking about that last night. I can't remember, so I have to look at my notes. So anyway, I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Hopefully I'll have more to report in 2 weeks.
Right. You have pressure.
Maybe one would be done. Wouldn't that be exciting?
That's a definite possibility. Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
So, okay. Well, we'll talk. Have fun at your lunch, and I better get to work here.
Okay.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening. To subscribe to the podcast, visit 2usfiberadventures.com.
Join us on our adventures on Ravelry and Instagram. I am Better in Motion, and Kelly is 100 Projects.
Until next time, we're the 2 U's
Doing our part for World Fleece.